week's gonna be exciting but also very busy. This week did not go as planned. Hello everyone, welcome back. Today is Monday, start of a fresh new week. I decided that today is going to be a good day. This is going to be a good day for you too. If you're watching this at night, then tomorrow is going to be a good day. Let's just put that out there into the universe. But I have my tea in my little heaven sent mug. It has a little cardinal on it. This is one of my favorite mugs. And I'm waiting for my class, which starts at 10. It's about 9:30 right now. I wanted to hop on here because I want to tell you about what's happening this week. This week's gonna be exciting, but also very busy. On Thursday, I'm actually going to my university that I did my undergrad at, which is Brock. And I am presenting, and I've been presenting for this co-curricular program that I was part of. It's called Med Plus. I think I've spoken about it before, but I've been presenting for the past, I started in 2020, so I guess this will be my third time, but it's my first time doing it in person, which is really exciting, but it's also a little bit kind of, you know, it's gonna be a lot different to how you present like virtually, so I'm excited for that, a little bit nervous, but I think it'll go good. I like talking about myself, so if you don't know, the presentation is about basically the patient perspective, because what I was finding when I was in the program is we would have all of the speakers were healthcare professionals, and that's the whole point of the program, is to basically help you figure out what kind of healthcare professional you want to be. There wasn't a presentation around the patient perspective, so I basically pitched it, and now I've been doing it ever since. And the first year I just did it about the Myasthenia Gravis, but now it's the cancer part, and both Myasthenia Gravis and the cancer. And it just seems like every year I got something to add. I had something to add this year with the thyroid cancer and that kind of stuff, so yeah, it should be good. And then Friday, my mom's gonna actually come with me to Brock. She's gonna pick me up and on Wednesday night, and we're gonna stay in a hotel, and my presentation's on Thursday from 4 to 6, and then she's gonna take me back to school. And then on Friday night we have our formal, which is going to be fun, and I got a dress this weekend, so I will show you that in the video. It's a really cute dress, and it took me forever to find a dress because I feel like most stores cater to people that are a very small size, and I feel like I'm like a pretty average regular size person, so it was just really hard to find one. It was kind of frustrating, but I did find one and I'm really happy with it. I also wanted to say that I finished Throttled by Lauren Asher, and I loved this book. At first it was a little bit slow, but I was still enjoying it. Like, the couple didn't really get together until like, I don't know, like probably that much, and then I just couldn't put it down. And I was studying last week, and I probably should have been studying more, but the exam went really well, so it's fine. And when I finished my exam, I was like, okay, I'm gonna treat myself and I'm gonna finish the rest of this book because I just really liked it. It was a fun time. And like I mentioned before, this series is about basically F1 drivers, race car drivers, and this is the first book out of 4, and I do have the other 3 books, but I want to spread them out so I don't get, you know, bored, I guess. But this one was really good, and there's a playlist. So I listened to the playlist after reading the book, and that was just icing on the cake. I've never read a book that had a playlist, and this author, I think she puts a playlist in every single one of her books, so I'm excited to read the other ones and then listen to the playlist on Spotify. I will say that there is spice in this, so if you don't like that, then maybe it won't be for you, but I just really liked it. At first I didn't like the guy in it, but then he grew on me, and It was just one of those like feel-good kind of books. And now I started this past weekend the Inheritance Games, which I've seen all over the place. This is a 3-book series, and it's about this girl that she gets a call that she has inherited $46.2 billion from this billionaire, and he just passed away, and now she's inheriting his entire fortune. But the catch is that she has to stay at his big mansion with his family, and his family aren't too happy about her getting all the fortune, and she doesn't know why, because she doesn't even know this guy. So her and the grandsons of this billionaire are trying to figure out why she was the one that inherited it, and the billionaire left a whole bunch of clues and riddles and that kind of stuff. So it is good so far. I am only like 150 pages in, 152 pages in. So a big switch from a romance, but I am intrigued to see what happened. So I'm gonna go set up for class, and yeah, I will talk to you later. Yesterday was not my day. Today is Wednesday, and yesterday I was just feeling so exhausted, and I got back to school on Monday. Yesterday was Tuesday, and even when I got back Monday, I was wiped out. I was able to clean my room with taking breaks and stuff, but then yesterday I just couldn't do it. I did go to class though, my 2 like mandatory classes, but it took a lot to like get through that. And so now I am going to be speaking with my neurologist tomorrow, because it seems like this new lull started after I started the new medication and started going down on the old medication that I was on. So it's quite frustrating, but I'm gonna talk to him tomorrow and see my options. I was talking to one of my other doctors, and she was thinking maybe an IVIG would be a good idea, which I used to do an IVIG every month in high school. And then when I went to university, I started to do the subcutaneous IVIGs, where I would do it myself twice a week, but I really don't want to have to do that one again. And also I didn't think after a while it really made that much of a difference, but I remember the ones where you go in for the day in the hospital, that one used to work well. So I really hope that that's the idea, that's the plan going forward. I really do not want to go up on prednisone because I hate prednisone. All of the side effects. Prednisone is a steroid, if you didn't know, and I'm already on like 15 milligrams, which isn't that high of a dose, but I used to be on like a higher dose and I had a lot of side effects. And it also probably doesn't help that I've been having trouble sleeping, so we're gonna address that probably at my appointment. I have one on Friday with my ND again. I used to take ashwagandha for sleeping, and that seemed to help, but I haven't been taking it recently for reasons, so we'll see if I go back on that or if there's something else. One of the side effects of this new medication is trouble falling asleep, and that's basically what it's been. But I've also been having a lot of stress lately, or like anticipation, because, well, every night I seem to think about my presentation, and my presentation's tomorrow, so maybe it'll get better after that. And then with school being so busy, but hopefully there's a solution. I do feel a little bit better today, so that's a bit of a win. And I have a couple of practicals today, and then we are off to St. Catharines, which is where Brock is. And then after the presentation, we'll be back here again. So I just packed up some stuff. I packed an outfit and just the basics for a night stay. And yeah, I gotta get ready for class. So this week did not go as planned. I was at the hotel and I was prepared for the next day to be my presentation, and that's not what happened. I will start off with what happened that night. So we had pizza, went to bed, and I've been having trouble falling asleep recently, so it wasn't really out of the normal that I was having some difficulty getting to sleep, and also I was probably having a bit of nerves or a bit of anticipation for the presentation. So I tried to do like a meditation. I tried to listen to some calming sounds, and I was still wide awake. And then at about 12 o'clock that night, 12 o'clock a.m., I started to get a pain in my right lower quadrant of my abdomen. And at first I thought it was some sort of digestive pain because, as I've mentioned before on my channel, I do generally eat mostly gluten and dairy free just because it makes me feel better. And sometimes I've found that if I've had gluten or something that I'm not used to having all the time, that I can get some digestive upset, and it tends to last not very long, like maybe an hour, maybe less. And I just thought I was having a really bad flare of that because I had had a similar pain like that before after I ate some kind of brownie. So I thought maybe the pizza that we ate, even though I've had that kind of pizza before but not really regularly, I thought maybe that was it. So I thought if I could go to the bathroom I would be good to go, but I was having trouble going to the bathroom. So I thought, okay, that's it, like I'm probably constipated. So I tried to eat an apple to try to get things moving. That didn't help. I tried literally every single position humanly possible to sleep, and I would go in and out of sleep for kept looking at the clock, and it wasn't very long that I was asleep. And I tried a warm cloth on my abdomen, and that didn't really work. Way late into the night, I decided to have a bath to try and see if that would help. You have to be really careful if you have myasthenia gravis having baths. Like, I don't ever have baths at home. I don't remember the last time that I've had one. So I was in the bath for maybe 10 minutes, and then I just couldn't handle it anymore because the heat was just making me feel really unwell. So that helped a little bit, but then when I got back out of the bath, then the pain came back. So my mom, when the stores opened, she went and tried to get a laxative to see if I would go to the bathroom. And when I did eventually go to the bathroom, the pain was still there. So then it had been crossing my mind, because you kind of go to more serious case scenarios when you have pain, especially in that area. So I had been thinking, well, I really hope this isn't appendicitis. And then in the morning, when the pain wasn't getting better, it was just getting worse, I thought, oh no, maybe I do have appendicitis and I need to get this checked out. And I really did not want to miss my presentation, and I was honestly waiting until the last minute until I got a phone call from my neurologist, and that was the phone call to discuss my worsening symptoms over the past week after starting that new medication. And he was telling me that it didn't really make sense that my symptoms were being aggravated with only being on the lower dose of the one medication, Imuran, for that short of amount of time. Like, I've only been down on my dose of the Imuran for, at that point, like a week and a half, so it shouldn't have made that much of a difference. He was concerned that maybe if I did have appendicitis, then the infection could be causing the worsening in symptoms, and I had said that I was going to go to the hospital anyways, but we were going to go to the hospital that was in St. Catharines at that point, but then I decided to go to Toronto General because that's where all of my specialists are. And because my case is super complex, I wanted to go somewhere where they had all of my information, and if we needed to get a hold of some of my specialists, it would be really easy to. So I had to make the very hard decision to leave St. Catherine's and not even step foot on campus, and it was really hard for me to do. And I remember calling, her name is Pam, the one that I was going to be meeting before, who also helps run the program at Brock. And you know, she said to me, like, your health comes number one, and you need to get checked out, and you need to take care of that. And I knew that, but it's really hard for me to have to let go of things, if that makes sense. And it was something that I was really looking forward to, and to have to miss that was really hard. And I was in so much pain. The drive to Toronto felt like an eternity, even though it was like an hour and a half. And we got there around 12:30 in the afternoon. I went back and they gave me Toradol, which didn't do anything for my pain. So they decided to give me hydromorphone, and they started on a lower dose. And they told me that hydromorphone can be up to 10 times stronger than morphine. So I thought, I really hope this helps. And it did very minimal. They had to increase the dose like 3 times. And I was just in such an incredible amount of pain. It felt like somebody was ripping at my insides. And at this point, I still thought that it was appendicitis. And one of the residents came, and the pain started radiating to my back on that side. And then they thought maybe it is kidney stones, but they were also kind of perplexed because the Toradol didn't work, and usually Toradol can help with the pain from kidney stones. So I was waiting for a CT scan for quite a number of hours. I think I got the CT scan finally at 7 p.m. Throughout that whole time, I couldn't really lay down and relax. I had to be swaying and I couldn't take my mind off the pain. It was something that I was like fixated on, and I tried to relax. I tried heating pads. They like gave me these like heat packs, and I was sleep deprived because I didn't sleep all night. And my poor mom, she didn't sleep all night either because we were in the same hotel room. Every time I got up, she was up, and honestly I don't know how I would have gotten through it without her. So I got the CT scan. It aggravated my pain, and I had to wait because that was the shift change for the nurses, and yeah, just a lot of pain. And the CT scan came back, and the results were that I had ovarian torsion of my right ovary. So what had happened was they had moved up my ovaries 2 years ago to prevent them from being radiated, and they were held by titanium clips, and somehow, they don't really know how, the right ovary just twisted, and it started to cut off its own blood circulation, and it was swelling. And they told me that I would probably need surgery, and there was a potential that I could lose that ovary if they didn't act accordingly, because the blood supply was getting cut off. And the ER resident said to me, like, I don't know how you, like, he was perplexed at my pain tolerance. Like, he said, I don't know how you've been in this much pain for like 15 hours at this point. So they decided to send me over to Mount Sinai because they have a more extensive gynecology department, and Toronto General apparently doesn't. And I think Women's College Hospital, which I'm a patient at for all my thyroid stuff, they only do like outpatient gynecology. So yeah, I had to go to Mount Sinai. I had to go through the whole triage process because all of my records apparently didn't get transferred, which is something that's like really, I'm not going to speak too much about that, but it was very frustrating. And they were under construction, so there was nowhere private to speak, so everybody in the waiting room heard that I might be losing an ovary. And it was just a mess and there was a lot of miscommunication. I was supposed to get an ultrasound to confirm the ovarian torsion before I got surgery, but I ended up not getting the ultrasound until 6 a.m. the next morning. So I had arrived at the emergency department at Mount Sinai at 9 p.m. and I waited until 6 a.m. to get an ultrasound, but I could have gotten one earlier, and it was just a whole situation. But when I finally got the ultrasound, they confirmed and I went in for surgery. I had to get a platelet transfusion because, like I've mentioned before, my platelets are really low. And usually when I'm preparing for a procedure or a surgery, my hematologist prescribes this medication. It's the one that kind of knocked me down for a whole month last semester in December when I was getting my liver biopsied. But because it was such an emergency, that medication, that's not going to work that fast. I had to get a platelet transfusion and I got the surgery. I woke up and I lost my ovary, my right ovary. So I do still have the left ovary, which they said will compensate for the loss, kind of like with the thyroid. But if I'm being honest with you, it's been taking a bit out of me, quite a bit out of me, and I don't really feel like myself since this happened. I also missed the formal, which was on Friday. It's just been really difficult to deal with this time, and I think it's because I felt like I was on such a trajectory of getting better and really good things happening, and then this just happened, which I know things like this do happen, and you can have ovarian torsion if you have ovaries, even in the right location. They said sometimes ovarian torsion can be caused by cysts. If you have a cyst on your ovary, it can cause the ovary to twist on itself. But they said they couldn't see a cyst on my ovary, so it's still kind of maybe the clips weren't tight enough, or they loosened or something. And it's kind of a sick joke because literally 2 years ago, so today is Wednesday and I had my surgery on Friday, and it was 2 years ago, either the 21st or the 22nd, I had the surgery to relocate my ovaries, and now one of them just decides to 2 years later, almost on the dot, to do gymnastics. It's been taking a lot out of me to kind of cope with everything, and I want to be fully transparent about this because I just feel like it's important. And I know people say, oh, be positive or stay strong, and right now I don't feel that. And I'm grateful that I have the other ovary still in there, still trucking, but I don't know, it just feels like my organs are rejecting my body. And I didn't really get to talk to the surgeon after the surgery. He called my mom and basically told her what happened, and she told me that I lost an ovary. But I really wish I would have been able to speak with him. I don't know if that would have given me any more closure. I know that I do have to have a follow-up in 6 weeks, and right now I am taking the week off school because obviously I can't be there with how I'm feeling after surgery, and I just need some time to process this. I really don't want to be a negative Nelly, and I don't think that I am, but I also want to let anybody know out there that continues to have health struggles that it's okay to have those days where you acknowledge that this is a pretty sucky situation, and no amount of positivity in that moment is going to change how you feel about that situation. But I know that the important thing is that you don't sit in that negative space, which is something that I'm still working on getting out of. And I think what's happening is a lot of what's happened to me, the traumatic experiences that I've gone through with my uterus inverting and now another organ twisting, essentially inverting, kind of similar things, and then also like the comparisons with the Toradol not working, and the Toradol didn't work when I was having my extreme pain from my tumor. It's bringing a lot of memories back and a lot of trauma from those experiences, and it's something that I know is going to take some time to work through, and I just have to be kind to myself and patient to myself because I've been through hell and back. I don't swear often, but I would say that I am a badass, and I don't really have any other word to really describe it because I'm still going despite everything that has happened. And I think that that's okay to recognize that. I think that's essential that you recognize that even though bad things happen, you continue to push through it. And I hope that that is a message of hope for anybody that's going through something similar, that it is going to be okay, but maybe today is not, and that's okay. But it will be okay. So I am, contrary to what you're seeing, I am wearing pajama bottoms, so I'm still very much recovering from the surgery. I just put on a business casual sort of top because I had a meeting earlier today, but didn't want to get out of the pajama bottoms. Here is my incisions, and there's some bruising as well. It's gonna take some time to heal emotionally and physically. I believe that it's going to be okay, and that I'm gonna get through this like I've gotten through everything else, and good things are gonna happen. So if you have any questions about the surgery or anything like that, let me know in the comments. And I know at the beginning of this video I said that it was gonna be a really exciting week, and I guess it was exciting, but in obviously a different context, and exciting being unexpected. But yeah, I am alive, which is the main thing, and it's just gonna take me some time, and I think that is 100% okay and 100% necessary to take time and need time. So thank you so much for watching this video. If you did like the video, and also subscribe to my channel. I will be documenting the recovery from this surgery. It's obviously gonna push back my whole fitness journey, but I think it'll give me more incentive to do some physical activity and get back to feeling more like myself and back to a regular routine. So stay tuned for that. But thank you so much for all of your support. I did post a community post a couple days ago. Well, it was yesterday, but by the time I post this, it'll be a couple days ago. But I do see everybody's well wishes, and I want to thank each and every one of you for all of those well wishes. It really means a lot to me, and I am just grateful for each and every one of you. So thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.